Before we start this episode, here's a quick preview of what's coming. Travel through time with Leo and Layla to meet historical figures and learn valuable life lessons. And we've got more free videos for kids of all ages. Subscribe at PragerUkids.com.
Layla, why is your door closed? Is everything okay?
Not now, Leo. I need some space.
Come on, sis. You can tell me.
All right. Someone broke into my friend Hannah's locker and drew a swastika. When we found it, she got so upset she almost cried. I've never seen her so shocked and hurt.
A swastika? You mean that evil sign the Nazis wore on their uniforms? That's terrible. But why would a drawing make her cry?
Hannah's Jewish, Leo. Her great-grandparents had to leave Germany when the Nazis came to power. They barely escaped the Holocaust.
Whoa, that makes more sense. But still, it's just a drawing, right?
That's what I thought. When I saw Hannah was upset, I tried to calm her down. I told her whoever drew it was just being dumb and to not worry about it. But then she wouldn't talk to me. She even looked scared. I feel like I should have done something different, but I'm not sure what.
You know, this might be a good time for us to learn more about what happened during the Holocaust.
Good point. Maybe we'll understand more why Hannah got so upset.
Where are we?
It doesn't look like we went back in time.
Yeah, this place looks like a spaceship, but I think it's a museum. Look at all those old pictures.
Shalom, children. What brings you to the Hall of Names?
The Hall of Names?
That's right. You're at Yad Vashem, Israel's memorial to the victims of the Holocaust, or as we say in Hebrew, the Shoah. This room holds the names and stories of Jews who were murdered by the Nazis. It's our way of remembering and honoring the Holocaust's 6 million victims.
6 million?
I knew that Jewish people were murdered. I just never realized it was that many. Sorry, I'm Layla, and this is my brother Leo. Maybe you can help us. It sounds like you know all about this place.
I should. My name is Miriam, and I'm a tour guide here at Yad Vashem. If you have any questions, I'll try to answer them.
So, do all of these pictures show somebody who died in the Holocaust?
They do. We've spent years collecting pictures and testimonies from the victims' families. When another story comes in, we record it so it won't be forgotten.
But that's so many people. Did the Nazis really kill all of them?
They did, and many more than what you see here.
That's terrible. How can such an enormous, evil thing like the Holocaust even happen?
It started when a terrible, hateful man came to power, Adolf Hitler. After World War I, Germany was in terrible shape. Hitler said that we Jews were the problem and that we needed to be eliminated. He even wrote a book about it, Mein Kampf. After he took over Germany and then most of Europe, his Nazis started rounding up Jews and sending them to concentration camps.
Concentration camps? Why would they send you to a camp to concentrate?
No, my dear Leo. A concentration camp is a horrible place where they concentrate a specific group of people to do unspeakable things to them. The work is brutal, and the conditions are so terrible that many people die quickly. And that's the point. Have you heard of the word genocide?
I think so. It's really bad, right?
Very. Genocide is when a group of people try to completely wipe out another group. People have been targets for genocide because of their race, their religion, or the country they live in. And the Nazis targeted us for simply being Jewish. Hitler wanted to exterminate every Jew in Europe, and he built these camps to do just that.
That's awful. I can't believe anyone would create a place like that.
Remember, it was on purpose. Killing all the Jewish people was always their goal. By the time World War II ended, over 6 million of us had perished. So many families were destroyed, including my own. But my sister and I were lucky. We survived.
You survived the Holocaust?
I did.
That's incredible. My friend Hannah's great-grandparents left Germany to escape the Nazis.
Ah, they were fortunate. So many were not. Would you like to hear my story?
Yes, we really would.
It's a tragedy I cannot forget. When the Nazis conquered my home country of Hungary, the soldiers in charge of my town made life hard for us. All of us lost our rights. We couldn't own a radio or a telephone, and we all had to wear a yellow star on our sleeve. At night, any Jews found outside their home were severely punished.
Oh, that's terrible. But why did they make you wear a yellow star?
That star was a way to separate us from everyone else. It was a way of encouraging others to treat us differently and even cruelly because of our race. After we were forced to wear them, fewer and fewer people would do business with my father. Before long, that yellow star meant that we could not go to certain places or even own property.
It all sounds so awful. Did you try to escape?
A few people tried, but we thought they were overreacting. We'd heard rumors of much worse things happening to Jews in other towns, but we didn't think they were true.
Didn't any of your non-Jewish friends stand up for you?
Some did, but unfortunately not enough. You see, Leo, Hitler's views were so extreme that even people who opposed him didn't think he was serious. And by the time he was in power, many were too scared to act and looked the other way. He could have been stopped earlier, but he wasn't. Therein lies the tragedy.
Oh, so what happened next?
One day, my whole family was forced onto a train and taken to Auschwitz, the deadliest concentration camp. It took several days, and the train was so crowded we could not sit down. When we arrived, the guards separated us. My parents and my brother went one way, and my sister and I another. That was the last time we were all together.
Do you know what happened to your family?
Several months later, I learned that my mother and my brother didn't survive.
I'm so sorry. How did you and your sister survive in such a horrible place?
Any way we could. Fortunately, our job was delivering messages, but the living conditions were terrible. As the weeks went on, my sister grew pale and bony from not having enough to eat. When the guards marched us 30 miles to another camp, the journey was freezing. It was a miracle that I made it.
30 miles on an empty stomach? How did you keep going?
I kept going for my sister. When she became very sick, I was there to help her. And when I was sick, she helped me. Through it all, we stayed together. And that made all the difference. We were able to survive long enough to witness a miracle.
A miracle?
One day, we noticed the guards were not at their post. We went outside and saw American soldiers outside the camp. Suddenly, we were free, and a new chapter of my life began.
Wow! What happened next?
When the war ended, my sister and I returned to our hometown and found our father in a hospital. He had survived a different camp and lived to tell about it. We could only cry and praise God that we were together again.
Now I'm gonna cry. You must have been so relieved to find him and have such a terrible time in your life behind you.
Indeed, I was. As a young woman, I started my new life in America. I loved the United States so much for giving me that life. And once a year, I visit this museum in Israel to pay respect to those who perished.
It's so brave of you to share such a painful story.
Thank you, Layla. And it wasn't easy to start telling it. For most of my life, I didn't even want to talk about what happened. But before my sister passed away, she encouraged me to tell our story. What happened, she said, happened because nobody fought back. Our story must be told so people will fight next time. She's right, I thought. Every generation faces great evil. But if good people stay silent or forget, then the unprotected will suffer again. And everything we do here will be in vain.
What are you thinking, Layla?
I'm thinking we should head back now. I have a friend that I need to speak up for. Miriam, thank you so much again for sharing your story with us.
It is my honor and duty, children. And if you should ever return here, more names and stories of the Shoah will be here waiting for you.
I really hope we can. It's so important to remember.
I agree.
Good. When people like you take my Holocaust story to heart, Evil does not stand a chance. So be courageous, not silent.
We promise, Miriam. Goodbye.
I'm really glad you spoke out, Layla. I wanted to tell the principal about that ugly swastika, but when I saw it, I just froze. It was like all the stories of my great-grandparents suddenly became real.
Hannah, I should have stood up for you right away. I saw how scared you were, but I didn't understand how much of a big deal it really was. Then a friend showed me what really happened during the Holocaust and what happens when you don't stand up against things you know are wrong. I'm so sorry I let you down.
It's okay. I forgive you. And if you hadn't spoken up, we might not have had that school assembly about it. I think that really helped. We need to keep reminding everyone about what happened. How hate and racism nearly destroyed my people during the Holocaust.
We won't let people forget. If we tell everyone we can, maybe we can stop things like this from ever happening again.
Thank you, Layla, for being brave, for sticking up for me. You're a true friend.
I always will, Hannah. I promise.
If you liked time traveling with Leo and Layla, watch more of their adventures at PragerUkids.com. And parents, don't forget to subscribe.